What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Vault Goblin, and long time no see. So basically, before I dive into this really awesome gameplay, there's actually a quad nuclear on carrier brought to you guys by Clayze. Check them out in the description below. Really awesome, running around with that Diamond AN94, and I don't know why I said before I get into this gameplay, because I just fucking dove into the gameplay. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm crazy. Don't even listen to me. Mute the video right now. Just watch the gameplay. Don't even listen. Don't listen to me at all. So, anyways, if you are still listening to me and you didn't listen to me right there, then, I guess you technically actually followed my instructions. I'm fucking confusing myself already. I'm stupid. But anyways, so basically I want to explain my absence on the Vault channel. So pretty much, before I dive into the pretty funny story that I've got for you guys today, what happened was I left Vault due to, I have nothing against anyone in Vault. I love everyone in this clan. They're my homies at heart, and, I've been with these dudes since the good old AMP days when I got picked up by Ethan. So, I got nothing against anyone in Vault. It's just I had a dispute with a couple members, and, I ended up leaving Vault. I'm not going to get too into that. And basically that night, a couple hours after I had left Vault, I joined Doom. And that was when they still had the 100K channel, and then their channel got closed, and then we made a new channel. So I'm still in Doom. I'm actually dual rostering Vault and Doom. I got permission from Cold, and so did Ethan. So don't worry about that. I'm not going to get kicked from Doom for doing this. But I love Vault. It's my squad, and Ethan needed some help, and I wanted to dive in because I missed Vault. I missed this audience here, and I hope you guys miss me just as much as I miss you guys. So yeah, basically today the story that I'm telling you guys is the first time that I ever bought condoms, and my God, this was probably one of the most awkward things that has ever happened to me in my life. And believe it or not, I've only bought them once because I kind of didn't really use condoms very much when I would have sex. And I know that, call me stupid, call me whatever the hell you want, but I wouldn't really use condoms very much. And I don't know why, I just kind of, thought all right, well, if I put my ding dong in there bare, then it'll really give her that real cock experience. And fuck it if 9 months later I'm gonna have a kid and pay child support and shit like that. Hey, it's the real cock experience. You got hit with that goblin dick, bitch, shit like that. So I figured, after the first time, I didn't really, I wanted to try it without condoms, and it felt much better without a condom, so I didn't use them after that. But anyways, so getting back on topic, basically how I got my first condoms. So I was with my girlfriend at the time. She's my ex now, but we dated for 10 months, and this was around a month into us dating, and I never actually told her that I bought the condoms, and she never knew because I never actually tried them. She had a condom, and I think I just said 10 seconds ago I tried them. I just bullshitted you guys. Either way, I had never actually used them, but I bought them because I thought that we were going to. So I never even told her that I bought them. I thought I'd just, whatever, just fucking throw them away. But basically, right next to my house, I want to say it's a 2-minute walk, there's this little convenience store called Walgreens. And if you guys live in the US, you probably know what a Walgreens is. It's basically just, you can go there and get food or get your prescriptions filled for medicine. You can buy pretty much anything. It's just what it is, convenience store. And if you guys don't live in the US, well, I just explained what the fuck it is. So anyways, I went up in there, and my girlfriend was, we were kind of discussing maybe trying sex sometime soon, and I was all right, that's raw as fuck, about to get my dick wet, homeboys. Then I turn around and go tell my boys yo, I'm gonna go buy some condoms. I'm gonna be getting pussy tonight. And then as I was walking out the door, I was like, hey mom, yo, can you go ahead and drop me $20? I need to get some pussy soon. And she was like, alright, I got you, son. You go get that pussy. And I'm like, thanks, mom. And then I went up to Walgreens, but no, I'm just fucking around with you. That didn't actually happen. But anyways, so I went up to Walgreens, and I was really nervous because I didn't know, should I just buy the condoms and go up there with, fucking balls of steel, just not giving a shit? Or should I kind of buy some cover-up items to make it look completely non-suspicious and kind of be normal, which I didn't end up doing. I just went up there with the condoms, but it took me half an hour of basically pacing through the store, considering my options, because I was really nervous. I don't even know why, because there's not a logins buying condoms at the age of 14, there's not. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go buy them. So I walked in expecting it to go pretty smoothly, and it didn't. I got some really weird looks because I don't look like an old guy. I'm 5'7". I'm a chunky little dude. I'm a chunky monkey, so I don't look like the kind of dude who's 23 popping pussy all day till I die, I just look like your average COD playing nerd. I don't know how else to fucking put it, So I'm in this store, and I had the condoms. At this point, I had them in my hand, and I actually had them in the pocket of my hoodie because this was it was fall, so I don't know why I had a hoodie, because it was early fall. This was September, so it wasn't even cold out, so I was already looking out of place as shit, and I had the condoms in the little pocket of my hoodie, and I had both my hands in my pockets. Hood was down because I wasn't gonna look that fucking shady. I'm not trying to look like a school shooter up in this, So I'm just kind of sitting there pacing around the store all right, boys, we gotta think this one out. And I'm sitting there should I buy a Gatorade and a pair of scissors and a garbage bag and make myself, I guess, kind of look less suspicious and cover myself up, Should I go buy, a dildo to confuse her? Maybe I could, be I'm buying a condom, but I'm also buying a dildo, so you're not quite sure what sexuality I am. Or should I go just straight up there, bareback with them fucking condoms and just straight up look the cashier in the eye, make eye contact, and like not even say, just kind of, you know, mouth out, I'm getting pussy. You know, like, I didn't know what I should do. I was scared as shit, and it was my first time. And everyone's first time buying condoms is always awkward. If you guys have done it already, you know what I'm talking about. So shout out to you. You're the real MVP for going through that struggle. Because there's some guys who just have their girlfriends buy the condoms all the time. You know, there's some guys who do that. And I guess that's a strategy that'll work, but I didn't want to do that. I'm the man in this relationship. I'm going to take this by the horns and buy those fucking condoms. And if you haven't bought the condoms yet, or if you haven't, you know, had the chance to have sex yet, or you just don't use condoms when you have sex, you'll learn someday. You'll learn the struggle of being scared shitless at the thought of having to go up to the counter with condoms and having now everyone in line and the cashier fully aware that you're about to get some pussy soon, or you just want to wear a condom. I don't fucking know. So anyways, I also, I didn't really know what size of condom to buy because I didn't really think to measure my ding dong before that. So I was like, fuck. And I was like, all right, well, Magnum XL, well, I'm not a porn star, so that's not for me. Small, I'm hoping that's not my alley, because if it is, I'm just going to end myself now. Nope, my pussy game's over. So I just bought, the medium size, Trojan condoms, you know? And I grabbed them, and it was just, the only reason I picked Trojans because I'd seen all the commercials, and I was like, all right, well, they gotta be reliable, and they probably don't break easily, because if they did, then why would so many people buy them, and why would they be such, a rich, well-known company, you know? So I grabbed the box of Trojans, and I stuffed them in my pocket, and I'm pacing around the store, and I'm like, shit. And there was one point where I actually also grabbed, a couple of drinks to kind of cover it up, but then I realized that wouldn't work, because then she'd ring up the drinks and then see the condoms, hidden in between them, and then she'd have to ring up the condoms, too, and pull them out individually. She can't ring them up still, covered by everything else. So that wouldn't work. That'd just make it look even worse, because then I'd be trying to hide it, you know? So what I ended up doing is I just straight up, I was like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. So I carried them. I pulled them out of my pocket, just carried them in my hand, just walked right up to the counter. I had $20 in my hand, sitting there with my wallet, and I didn't look like an old kid, so I got some looks. Believe me, I got some looks, and I'm pretty sure, I looked around, and there were some people who were kind of whispering and looking in my direction. So I'm confident that they were probably talking about me, because I don't know what else they'd be talking about besides little scrubby ass fucking COD nerd buying condoms, you know, and they're like, oh, that kid isn't gonna get pussy, look at him, he's a fucking faggot. I turned around and I was like, fuck you, bitch, and I smacked her like this, fucking bopped her ass. Nah, but that didn't even happen either. But anyways, so basically, you know, I went up to the counter and I bought those condoms, and I put them on the counter, looked at that cashier, had my 20 in my hand. I had my 20 in my left hand. I remember this so well. Had the condoms in the right hand, just slid them on the counter, had the 20 in between my index finger and my middle finger of my left hand, and I was kind of holding it as if it was like some sort of drug transaction. And I just kind of looked him it was a dude. It was a young dude. So I was like, I was way more comfortable because the typical cashier at this place was some old lady. And I was like, that's weird. I don't know. I don't want it to be someone of the opposite sex, because if you're going and buying condoms from a dude cashier, then it's kind of bro, pussy. But then if you buy condoms from a girl cashier, she just kind of gives you that look you getting that stank pussy? What you doing, bitch? It's different. I don't even know how to put it. It's different. So I was so happy there was a young dude, and he rung me up, and I guess the cashier, the machine didn't work. He was a new guy, and I could kind of tell because he was pretty young. So then the manager had to come help. Thank God the manager was also a guy. So the manager kind of looked at what the dude was ringing up, and he gave me this look homie, pussy. And I was like, yeah, bro, you know it. We didn't actually say anything, but it was kind of it's that eye contact. It's that male eye contact that we had going down. That's my bro right there. He knows I'm getting that pussy. So I rung him up, and they checked him out. You know, I was all set to go. And as he was bagging it up, he just kind of put in this sly little remark that I'll never forget. He just kind of goes have fun. And then he slides him over to the counter to me. And I grabbed the bag, and then I was grabbed my change out of the little machine. And I was just kind of shaking. I was like, wait, Did that really just happen? Did that really just fucking go down? Did I just walk into that store and buy condoms and then have this dude who looked like he was 23 tops just tell me to have fun when I'm 14? I didn't know how to compute it. I felt pretty badass though. So, you know, I walked out of the store and I walked home, and you know, of course, at this point, it didn't really they were already hidden by the bag, and I wasn't gonna just fucking take them out of the bag and just boast all through the neighborhood yo, I got condoms, boys, and everyone's like, yeah, you go, Nick, you got condoms, you know, I kept them in the bag. I was still trying to kind of hide them on the way home, and then I had to figure out I can't fucking talk. I tried to, you know, figure out how to hide them from my mom, which I did. There was this little compartment above my closet with this little wooden kind of box thing, and I just kind of literally threw them up there, and they landed in that box, and then I never had to use them, and I eventually just threw the box away, you know, and I just kind of threw it in this little dumpster that was behind the, you know, Walgreens, and I never saw them again. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's drop a like and a comment, and let's go for 200 likes in honor of my return to Vault. Check out myself and Clayze in the description below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Just ride with a motherfucker. Keep it real, never lie to a motherfucker. Hold me down. Chillin' and they got a DeVita, rockin' Adidas with a senorita, and she sippin' liquor by the leader. That's royalty. Like the homie Gambino, he know we be in the casino, lighting Cubans with a C-note. I'ma fuck the game. Yeah, that's my libido, coming up shorter than Danny DeVito whenever I step on the beat. Ho, like a killer on the crease slow.